This is Rhonda Green of That Green Woman, and what we're going to do today is to talk about unlawful or illegal members on a board. Recently, the Washington County Plan Commission, it was brought to their attention that several of the members did not live outside in the county area, unincorporated area. And with further investigation, we found out that there were too many of one political party. There were like 4 Republicans and 1 Democrat. And so with those both together, it was brought to their attention that that needed to be fixed. And at the meeting where Max presented,
my concerns that they had members that did not meet the qualifications based on the book. I hold this book up here. This is almost a one of a kind, maybe.
Right, there you go.
It's the 2017 edition. There's several of the 2011 editions in the county, but this may be about one of the only 2017 editions in here. But anyway, it's intended to be the Citizen's Guide to the Indiana Planning and Zoning Laws annotated.
Right. And so we also have a link on the document that we're going to look at, and where you can actually go to the legislative law that has the same quotes or ordinances or
well,
legal.
that's where the clips come from
Right.
for this video. Comes straight off the state's website.
Right.
Except for the first page here in chapter 1, which we couldn't find other than in the book, and the map on the second shot you're going to see on the screenshot.
Right. And so we're married, and we'll try not to be intense and try to bring you along in an easier manner than we've done before. But let's go ahead and get to it. All right. Here we go. Now here we go. This is your show, Max.
Okay. The following information is from the Indiana Planning and Zoning Laws Annotated 2017 edition. The state website was also used. You can read that. That's on the screen, so you can go ahead and download each of the codes to see that they are correct for what we quote here. Also, the following conclusions are based on my following information. I am not a lawyer and do not pretend to have a law background, so these are just my opinions, and as a regular citizen, I would encourage you to read and research to see what you come up with for your conclusions.
One of the things too that to note, anything that's like highlighted in blue, that's our notes, and anything in yellow is highlighting actual code. Now, I did not do a slick job of this. This looks like chicken scratchings, and I apologize for that. But
well, it gives you the idea what section I'm trying to describe as we go through the pages.
Right.
Let's go ahead and start. This is chapter 1 in section 1.1. Scroll up further.
All right.
The bottom of 1.1, it says, through IC 36-7-4, a reader will note the preceding terms, advisory area and metro, followed by the statutory language which applies to the types of planning commissions. In cases where there is no heading, the section applies to all planning commission types. And that's important to see later on, because one of the misquoted sections is area, which is not what we are.
Right.
Now in 1.2, Advisory Plan Commission can serve cities, towns, and counties. Municipal Advisory Plan Commissions serve the area within their corporate limits, and in some cases are allowed planning jurisdiction over the contiguous unincorporated territory up to 2 miles outside the corporate limits. I'll stop there. That is what is referred to as the fringe, or the 2 mile fringe, and that's what the city of Salem took into their under their control, and the county signed that over to them, so they do have control. As when the county made their planning board, the city had to come back and get exclusive permissions to continue to do so. Now, the next part here, county advisory planning commissions serves the unincorporated territory within the county, excluding any extraterritorial jurisdiction claimed by the
Municipalities. Yeah.
I'll say it again. County Advisory Planning Commission serves the unincorporated territories within the county, excluding any extraterritorial jurisdiction claimed by the municipalities. That means Salem's 2 Mile Fringe is not part of the county's purview.
Right.
That was page 1 of the book.
Yeah.
Now, page 2, the next section shows a picture of Washington County. We are clearly an advisory plan commission. That's what the state, 51 counties in the state are advisory. That's what we are.
Okay.
You'll see later on it'll make more sense.
Okay. The city of Salem. Yeah, go ahead.
You read it if you want.
The city of Salem has exclusive jurisdiction authority over the 2 Mile Fringe. See attached resolution
That's
information.
367-4-601.
Right. And explain that.
Well, it starts off the legislative body having jurisdiction over the geographic area, and once they claim that on their map, the geographic area, it can't be claimed by the county, so they can't have members living in another area.
Okay. The next one, Washington County Land Use Planning is clearly an advisory plan commission.
And that just speaks for itself with the map.
Okay. Plan Commission, 367-1-14, Plan Commission. Unless preceded by a qualifying adjective, be careful of metropolitan and area. See video expert. Okay, so that's an example. What is that an example
That's
of?
an example where they misquoted because they didn't read page 1. They misquoted what IC 367-4-211 actually means.
Okay.
But that's where you got to be really careful when you're doing that.
Now,
if the words are not italicized, then it applies to all 3 types: advisory, area, and metropolitan. That's where the italicized comes in to be a tricky subject, and that's why you have to read page 1.
right.
Here it is, 367-4-211. Area. That only applies to area boards, not the advisory, which the county is. That's where they quoted, notwithstanding any other provision of the area planning laws, representation on any of the planning commissions may be changed. But that doesn't apply to advisory. That's only area. That's why it was misread. Didn't read page 1.
Right.
Note the italicized word area means it only applies to the Area Planning Commission.
And once again, we are in Washington County an advisory board. Okay. Now this
This is another 208, 36-7-4-208. It's advisory. This is where membership of the commission, county and metropolitan members. Scroll up a little bit. They could have had township trustees if they wanted, but the board was made up with 5 citizen members. But you read 5 citizen members, of whom no more than 3 may have the same political party. Each of the 5 members must be a resident and an unincorporated area. But that's a section that they've copied off, but it's not the only section that applies. But take note that it says no more than 3 of the same political party, because in this last election in the primary, 4 of the 5 members declared their party as Republican when they voted in the primary. Now scroll to the next.
Sorry, I'm right. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, stop. No more than 3 of the same political party. That's the catch on 208. Jurisdictional limits notwithstanding, nothing is italicized, so this means for all 3. The following here applies to all 3. In 216, check out the 36-74-216, membership of the commission, qualifications of citizen members. This is an addition to 208, just like the 217 and 220 and the rest of them is going to be, in addition to. The subject to subsection B, a citizen must meet one of the following requirements. A member must be a resident of the jurisdictional area. That's the important part of the planning commission. The member may also be required by statute to reside within an unincorporated area of the jurisdictional area of the Planning Commission. Or 2, the member must be a resident of the county and also an owner of real property located in whole or in part in the jurisdictional area of the Planning Commission. The member may also be required by statute to own real property within the unincorporated area of the jurisdictional areas of the Planning Commission. And in the next section, be at least a majority of the local total number members of the citizen members appointed by the Planning Commission must be residents of the jurisdictional area of the Planning Commission. What that says is at least 3 of them have to live in the unincorporated area of the county, which the county controls, but 2 more can live in Salem, or they can live in the 2-mile fringe of Salem, so long as they own property out in the jurisdictional limits of the board. And that's where the board members right now, 3 of them do not reside or own either one property within the jurisdictional limits of the county board. They're in the Salem's 2-mile fringe limit, so they're not in the jurisdictional limits of the board. That's my complaint. That's my ball of wax, the whole thing here, and that's the justification for it. And you look at IC 36-7-4-217, that also applies. And you scroll on up to the next. And
this one right
218 also applies. 218 is membership of the commission terms of and removal of the citizen members. When they're initially put in office, they're supposed to have 4-year terms, and you can see down below they're supposed to be staggered terms. Down at C, upon the establishment of the county planning commission, the citizen members shall initially be applied to the following terms of office. That means they intended for not everybody to turn up at the same time. If a member quits, they're replaced to finish out just that 4-year stint that they got, and then have to be reappointed or somebody else appointed at the end of their term.
Now let me, I'm just going to bring forward a picture of the board appointments, and these are the people that are appointed right now.
The last 5 there, and you can see.
The last 5. Now Deidre voted Republican in the last 2 primaries. Mark Hartman has never been a Republican or a Democrat in any way, shape, or form.
In any primary. Before.
In any primary. Andrew Catt is Republican, but he's not. He doesn't have any property within
the jurisdictional limits.
Right.
Tom Day currently doesn't show any property within the 2-line. Within the jurisdictional limits. They're both in within Salem's 2-mile unincorporated area. And Kevin Baird's about in the county, so he's fine.
He's fine, and he's Republican. Mark Hartman doesn't live outside the 2-mile fringe. Now, see, this is all research that we've done on our own, and
through the county's website.
And
so
through
if they own property and it's not showing up on the county's website, whether it's not been updated or what,
or they have it in a trust or whatever funky thing is. We asked for this to be looked at. So there's that, and then here's the dates when they're
and they're all expiring at the same time. They're not staggered like they're required under the Indiana statute.
Right, except for Deidre Miller, right?
Well, yeah. You see one, but there should be 2 come up at 1 year, and the other 3 should be staggered on separate years.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to show off.
Even if they are replacing old board members, they still have to be staggered.
Right. Okay. So we're good here, right? We need to go down.
Yep,
okay.
Down.
Now
and the rest of it is just like 220 applies, 222 applies.
Membership of commission, vacancies, appointment of alternate members.
And 222, 222.5, scroll on, 223 applies. These all apply unless it says otherwise, unless it says this is for metro only or for area only. And that's not the case. It applies to all types of boards, and that's why more than just the 208 applies. You can't just pick and choose, well, I only want this one to apply, and they can't use 211 as justification because 211 is for area boards only and not advisory. So you have to, if you're going to make laws that are going to affect other people's rights to use their property, the least you can do is follow state code while you do it. That's just my opinion.
Right. And seeing that's the thing, we're trying to it should have been easy. We started trying like a month ago.
In the beginning of time, Tom Cyphers was the county attorney and the board's attorney when they did their comprehensive plan. And there were 2 members from the 2 Mile Fringe in on that initial board. And somebody called him on this 216, and he had to replace those 2 members before they could get their $60,000 grant to pay for their comprehensive plan. He was under the belief that what I'm saying is actually correct. 216 does apply. And he was under the same impression as the county's commissioner's lawyer, because he had vetted, and one time he came in a meeting and said an individual had been appointed, but he didn't turn out to be vetted right, so I didn't allow him to be seated. So we assumed that the county commissioner's lawyer was taking care of this all along, so we didn't verify anybody's address until one of the county council persons.
Well, we were asking about something else. And
He came out and said that Mark's my neighbor, and we're in the 2 Mile Fringe, and you can't do that according to what I'm reading in the book. What it makes, there may be some ways to get around it, but this is what the public is supposed to believe is actual the laws that the state has put forward for you to have to follow. And there are laws in here on non-conforming farming, and there are laws in here on mobile homes. And to say, well, none of this applies because we just don't want it to, just don't quite rub right. So anyway, that's enough of this, and I'm resigning from the BZA, which I've been on for 10 years, because I've been sat through more meetings and seen members come and go, and for a long time. But I mean, I was under an impression we had all legitimate members, and it was trying to go forward on the county's behalf. But I feel that's not what's being going on right now, and that's why I'm stepping down from the other board. I can't be a party to what I see happening.
Well, it's hard to double check, and it's just they're.
Well, it's tough, but it's made for a reason to be tough, because
right.
you're getting ready to do like the city of Salem come up and said, oh well, they can charge you $50 a day for having chipped paint. That's pretty tough. I mean, if you're just barely getting by and they want to run you out of the county or something, you need to be judged by your peers and people that actually live under the same regulations as you do. Because currently, anybody in the 2 Mile Fringe of Salem, the unincorporated area of Salem, they have 1,500 feet protection from animal feeding operations, CFO operations, but out in the county it's 400 feet. It's kind of hard for them to say it's okay for you to have 400 feet, but as long as I keep my 1,500, I'm happy. My home's never going to be in danger of the smell zone. And living out in the county, we've never had zoning before. You just took your chances and rolled the dice. If they wanted to put a animal operation close to you, they could. That's just part of it. But you shouldn't be beat down on everything you can do, and your livelihood threatened on what you can and can't do for making money off your property, and have a double standard applying here.
Right. And do you want me to roll the clip?
Well, you can put the clip at the end if they care to see what we're talking about as far as what was said at the zoning board meeting. That's fine, but make your own decision on what this is. But they misquoted it, just like I said, and I explained why it was misquoted. Page 1. You got to read page 1. And page 1 also says that the county does not have the authority over what Salem claimed. It shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't have been this hard to convince the board that they need to back up and apply to all the codes and sections of their board instead of trying to jump sideways.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna let that go, and this is we'll go ahead and deal with the clip elsewhere. All right. And it'll be on the website. But thank you for listening, and this is Rhonda of That Green Woman, and Max of That Green Woman. Thank you very much.
Thank you.